Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Kaye here on my homestead. We're going to go through some gifts that I've received. So grab a mug and please stay tuned. This is my gift box from Mary at Mary's Nest. She is so wonderful. And I went to my post office box and I got this bigger box from Random House Publishing, and I'm going, I've been ordering a lot of books this year, but I don't think I've ordered anything that would go in a big box like that. This is the Mary Bryant Schrader, the Modern Pioneer Pantry gift box with her new book. And so we're going to open this, and it's a pretty substantial box. And it's got all kinds of goodies inside. And honestly, I should have asked her, I don't know how you received this. This may be just something that she sends to her special friends. I don't know. But let's go through it and see what all is in here. This is some various and sundry small items that, various companies give away. Lehman's, and this is a grabber that you grab the top of lids to open. Farmhouse Teas at farmhouseteas.com. It says the world needs more sweet jam and sunshine. So there's a postcard with their information on it. Oh, there's recipes on the back of this card. That's cool. And I have some survival seeds, some survival garden seeds, and I'm also an affiliate for those. But they've got a nice little package of culinary herb collection. That's very cool. Oh, here's the Farmhouse Teas. And this is root beer flavoring, kombucha flavoring for second ferments from Farmhouse Teas. This is so cool. I have a bottle for fermenting kombucha, and I just haven't used it. The sun is peeking in and out of the trees, so we'll see how long this lasts. Okay, we got through the root beer ferment. I can't wait to try that. I would really like to make some. Oh, you know what would be good? Daryl mentioned that it's almost time to harvest muscadine grapes. So he was going to check and see if the farm was selling them this year. And so she's got her, oh, hi, sweet friend, of course. I'm so excited to share my new cookbook with you. As someone who influences and inspires so many, your support means the world to me. Writing this book was a labor of love, and I want to thank you for joining me on this traditional foods journey. Love and God bless, Mary. She's a special woman, and I am so happy for her success. She has focused her content so that she really appeals to a huge group of people, and she's so welcoming. I just love her. Let's work together. This is Lehman's celebrating 70 years of selling history. Happy to partner with Mary's Nest and the introduction of her second cookbook. To her sweet friends, of course. Join Mary as she reaches you to fill your pantry, save money, and eat healthier using food preservation products from Lehman's and our friends at Suburb Sealing Solutions, the leader in USA-made canning lids. Interesting. Okay. And then here are some of the Superb lids. A little box of the regular size lids. Fantastic. Oh, and maybe these are the pickle pipe. I need more of those. These are from Mason Tops. And I love the pickle pipe fermenting lids. So if you're not familiar with those, you need to be, because you need to be fermenting. And you don't have to say, I can't ferment, I don't have a garden. Yes, you can. You can go to your farmer's market. They're still going to have things like cabbages, maybe. There are things that you'll be able to ferment. So these tops, it's sort of like a nipple. It is a nipple, actually, in case you've never seen one. So there's a little hole here, and you use this instead of a lid. These are the large size lids. They don't make them for the regular size canning jars. But on the large ones, the wide mouth, use this instead of a lid, and then you use your ring, and then gas can escape from the little hole in the nipple. And I just find it's the best way. I've tried other things, and I just like these the best. So I guess Mary has partnered with them too. And if I was in the business of making any kind of products for pantry, I would be partnering with Mary Schrader for sure. So here's the beautiful book. And there's a lot in that photograph, I gotta say. You know, to be able to accomplish a photo like that with so much information in it. She's got her baked goods, her preserved goods, her fermented goods. What else has she got in this picture? She's got it all. And it's a complete guide to preserving food. That is going to be a very valuable resource. And I'm so proud to know this woman. I can't even imagine the sense of accomplishment I would feel if I had my own book. I always said I was going to have a photography book, and that still has not happened. And here is the brochure for the superb lids. Okay, so there you have it. That is my wonderful gift. Let me get, oh, I can put it over here, from Mary. This is from my friend Angie in South Carolina, and I had hoped with my, you know, I rarely travel, and last March, it seems incredible to me now that I did a 9-hour drive by myself. Even when I moved 5 years ago across the country, I limited myself to 6 to 7 hours. Of course, I had a cat in the car, and I had friends all the way across the country, so, you know, Phoenix, Santa Fe, Lubbock, Dallas, Memphis. I had the good fortune of having friends all the way across, so it just worked out great. I did the 9-hour trip down there, and unfortunately they had some health appointments and were not there. And so I literally was within 40 minutes. We stayed about 40 minutes from where they live, and I could have seen their place. And Reedy, if you follow him on Facebook, he is always cooking. He is a fabulous cook, always trying new things. I mean, oh, if I had a Reedy, wow. She saw my Herbs of the Bible video. I've got some of the biblical herbs in pots right there. And I have to go back to the website and see if they're going to live through the winter or if I have to bring them in. Bay leaf, I'm looking at bay leaf, that's Syrian oregano, I believe, and caper. I know I have to bring the caper in. She saw the video, and I'll put the link right up there if you missed it. But I believe I had about 9 herbs that would have been grown during the biblical times. And so she sent me this book, Herbs of the Bible, and how to grow them. Now I'm going to spend a little time reading this winter, I hope. I have so many resolutions. I should have made them at the beginning of the year, but I am making my resolutions sort of at the end of the growing season for the winter. And one of them is I want to read a book a week. Spend less time on screens, flipping through, you know. That's how you find some good information, though. I just shot a short, and you'll see that before you see this, on my fig tree. And I saw a short video by Pawpaw Sammy. I don't know if you know him, but they do a lot of short videos with just really good information. And they do vermiculture, which is worm farming. And I would really love to do more of that. You know, I'm doing my worm towers. If you missed my worm tower video, it's right up here. It sounds complicated. It is not. You use a 5-gallon bucket and you drill holes in it and you dig a hole and you put it in the ground and you put all your kitchen scraps in it. It is that, but you got to put a lid on it, locking lid. It is that simple to create. But for the worm tower, all the worm poop goes into your raised bed or wherever you locate it. It'll go around that area. When you actually farm the worms, it's different. You harvest the worm castings. I happened to see a video about wormwood, and she said, oh, I think I have some seeds. Well, these seeds are the finest seeds I have ever seen. It makes me nervous. Just, it's so fine. It's like powder. It's the finest powder. And so you can't even hardly see them in the bag. But I do want to try that, because I know it's a medicinal plant. And she also sent me some cotton. Now, you may recall that I tried growing brown cotton when I was first here. I think it was the first year of the big garden. So that would have been 22. And I had one row of brown cotton, which is the cotton that was grown on the plantations back in the day. Once again, I did not get it to harvest. It wasn't finished forming the cotton bowls. That was just kind of a wasted effort. But I learned something. You've got to start early, I guess, or maybe even start inside. I'm going to have to find out about that, because I do want to try that. This is the regular white cotton. Now, my mother grew up picking cotton. And she and her family were sharecroppers. And this was common back then. And if you didn't have your own property, that's the difference between being a sharecropper. You know, if you're a landowner, then you have sharecroppers picking your cotton, right? But if you don't have land, you got to pick somebody else's cotton. And so they just were given a 2-room log cabin and no electricity, no running water, none of that. So they got one electric light bulb. I think it was like when she was a senior in high school. So just try and imagine. It's hard for me too. Okay, so thank you very much, Angie, and I can't wait to meet you at some point. But I won't be going to South Carolina, you know, without my brother and sister-in-law, because they know the terrain. Now, this is a very special package that Sharon Carson at Sharon's Natural Gardens in Delaware. If you've been following my channel, you know that Sharon is having the cancer battle of her life, of anyone's life. She's lost 53 pounds and she's on hospice. And she managed, over the course of a couple of days, to put together this package. And I haven't even opened it because I wanted to open it with you. And so here we go. I might have to put my glasses on, but maybe not. I honestly think, it may be too soon to tell, but I honestly think my vision is improving. I don't know for sure, but I would be so excited if I didn't have to wear glasses. You can't imagine. I've been in glasses for, not as long as my siblings. You know, when you get into glasses early, your eyes adjust to that and depend upon it. Now, if you can't see, you got to wear something, right? Certainly if you're driving or sewing. Oh my goodness. I think all the fine sewing that I did. Oh, when I was in New York, I made dress after dress after dress after dress, outfit, evening gowns, coats. Oh my goodness. And it was always costumes. I made costumes. I remember making this costume. I'll have to do a sewing video and show it. Not a sewing video, a show and tell sewing video. Pull out that costume. I still have it. I was a futuristic nun or something. And I drew out this sketch and I made this padded, I was a big Star Trek fan. And was it back then? Yeah. It was a V-neck with off the shoulder and it was quilted, right? So I had a layer of quilting inside 2 layers of cotton, that heavier cotton. I used to know the names of all the fabrics. Anyway, I didn't have any special kind of machine. I had a very cheap machine. And so I wanted this edge because it was padded, and then I did quilt it with the machine. I did just a basic kind of design like that. Well, but the edge on the neck, I remember sitting and I wanted the stitches to be perfect and very small just to stitch this edge of the neck. I'll have to show you that. At any rate, I think my vision's getting better. I mean, I can see everything I need to see. It's just not sharp, real sharp. Okay, so let's see if I can read this. Climbing nasturtium. She told me about this. Now, I have not grown nasturtium since California. I believe it was my first season here. I tried growing some nasturtium down there and it all got eaten by deer, of course. If humans eat it, deer is going to like it. But now that I have the fence, it's possible. The deer fence. Climbing nasturtium. So this just climbs and climbs and climbs and climbs. It would be so fantastic. And I'm saying this directly to you, Sharon, as well as everyone else. It would be so fantastic if you could make it to spring and see me plant out some of your seeds. That would be fantastic. And miracles do happen. Okay, this is zinnia. Oh, yeah. Zinnia cut and come again. I would love to do that. I have so many flowers outside and my interior every surface is so piled up and I don't have like big window sills to cut flowers or anything. So I never think to take any of my flowers inside. So this is zinnia cut and come again. And I would love to try that. And then this is red. It looks like red tomato. And this is Booth's Bay blonde cucumber. That sounds interesting. Her handwriting is not quite what it was. Let's see. Booth's Bay is what it looks like. Blonde cucumber. And that's red tomato. Yeah, so I had that right. Yay! And this is Edisto. I was just talking about Edisto Beach. Edisto cantaloupe. I can't wait. I had such a great melon year. I can't even believe it. I want to do it in the same place next year. And Tennessee red, purple okra. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing that for sure. For sure. And this is, this is the brown cotton. She told me she was sending this, I forgot. So this is the brown cotton. So I'm going to grow white and brown cotton next year. And it would be so cool to make something out of that. You know what I just thought of? I used to make, when my son was in Waldorf, crafts are a big thing at Waldorf school. The boys and the girls do the crafts. It's from sewing to the whole thing. And so I started working with, what's it called? Wool felting. Wool felting. I would love to do that again. There's so many things I would just love to do again. And there's so little time. Oh, and she told me about this over and over and over. This is blackberry lily. She said this is going to be great for Daryl and I. So there's enough seeds in here. By the way, I really wanted to do an audio a video with going through this with her on the line, but she can't talk for very long, and so she said she just wouldn't be able to do that, and I'm just so sorry. But I have videos online when she was healthy, and you can hear her and see her enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm still exists. I mean, when she talked to me about putting all this stuff together, she went through and organized all of her seeds. You know, she's organized all of her legal things so that everything can be taken over if and when she passes. Rainbow flower corn. She's told me so much about this. This is so beautiful. And I tell you what, I'll just do a close-up of all of this shot at the end. But I would love to grow the rainbow flower corn. Now that I have the deer fences and the mothballs made it possible to keep the raccoons out. A 7-foot fence will keep deer out. But that won't keep out raccoons. And they equally love corn. So I have to chalk up the bottles of mothball water as a huge success. Oh, scarlet bee balm, which she calls it Monarda, and I think that's what's growing over here because I had one from her in a pot for like 2 years, and it was sitting over there, and I thought, Kaye, just stick it in the ground. Why are you shuffling these pots around year after year? So I put it in the ground over there. I think it's the same thing, although this as well as the other bee balm is it gets mildew. This has a lot of shade in the mornings. It's not that, because I have wild bee balm growing over on the side over there, and that gets sun all day and it still has mildew. All right, here we have, oh, so this was one thing I really wanted to talk to her about on the audio interview, was biodynamic, because she never was able to call her farm a biodynamic farm because of all of the government restrictions and loopholes and paperwork and whatever. And so she called it Sharon's Natural Gardens, but she grew biodynamically, which I first learned about when my son was at the Waldorf school, because that's how I got into growing, is because when my son was in the Waldorf school, from third to 7th grade, there was a man that would come and give demonstrations on stirring the biodynamic compost into a vortex in a 5-gallon bucket of water, and all the kids would participate. The kids got to stir, and then you go the other way, and you create a vortex, and that empowers, chemically, I guess, it empowers the tea that you're making from that, compost tea that you're making from that, to supercharge your garden. And so I met him there, and my friend knew him, and so we connected, and he's the one that got me into gardening. I mean, I just had a tiny little front yard. It had just some bushes and not much of anything, really, nothing important in the front yard, and because the front yard is like this big. And he said, plant a lemon tree and an orange tree and surround them with nasturtium and herbs. And I did that, exactly did that, and I was off to the races, and I've never looked back. That was 2012. And now look, what was his name? Jack? His name was John, but they called him Jack, I think. He passed away. But I actually have him in a video the first year. It was my how to grow lettuce in a pot. And you know what? I'm going to put the link right up there. It's a short video, and he says it's 100% foolproof. Oh, and here we have the Sweet Luck corn. Now, she grew out Daryl's corn that I sent her, and she had a lot of it, and so she has sent me back, it's probably 300 kernels or something in there, And so she saved seeds properly. That's something I haven't done. Corn should be saved. She said you should have 75 ears. 75 ears. And I just usually have saved like the 10 or 12 or 15 best ears. Tried to save. The raccoons always get them, but she said you take 75 ears, and then you only take the 4 inches, the 4 inches in the middle of the best ears, right? You only save those seeds. You don't save anything from the ends because the kernels get smaller. And so that's what you save, and then you mix it all together, and that's what you save. And so that's what she did. She had this huge stand of corn. She did fantastically because, of course, she uses her incredible compost. I didn't even realize I've got a cat behind me. Okay. That means I've been talking for 29 minutes. And I hope this information, don't bite me. I hope this information is interesting and helpful and most of all inspiring. I want to inspire you to grow something new next year. Daryl is always saying, grow something you've never grown before. Each year, it's exciting, and it's so exciting to grow anything and to see the seeds sprout and then to deliver some food to you. It's just wonderful. At any rate, she has given me this precious amount of her biodynamic compost. Now, in order to have biodynamic compost, oh, and by the way, I have a great video called One Gun Ranch, and I also did that the first year. And that's where Jack, what did we call him? Farmer Jack. There you go. Farmer Jack would go out to One Gun, this wealthy young heiress or whatever, really nice lady, bought a ranch in Malibu, which, how pricey that could be. She had a ranch there and she had horses, and she would have Farmer Jack come out. In order to do biodynamic, you have to make the preparations and then you sprinkle the preparation. And there was just a huge thing of horse manure there. And I talk about that in that, but it's a really interesting video. We had given my son a Mini Cooper and in his senior year, and when he went to Stanford, they wouldn't let you have a car the first year, so I got to keep it at home and drive it myself. So you'll see the Mini Cooper, me driving the Mini Cooper in that video. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So anyway, I will be talking to her about how I can best expand upon what is in this small bag. Okay, and there's some notes here. Let's see, I gotta put it back in here. It's a thin little grocery bag and I don't want it to burst and me to drop it. Okay, this says Sharon's finished compost biodynamic. Yeah. And I'm just going to read you this note if I can. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Kaye. Sorry we could not connect by phone, but wanted to send a few seeds and small bag of my biodynamic compost made in 2022 to sprinkle in your corn rows. Though it's a function of what is needed, I am proud of your persistence in your gardens and you following your dream. Happy trails, my friend. Whew. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everybody, for watching. 2 more quick things. I have a ton of Orange Glow watermelon seeds. Now, this may do better in the South. I can confirm that with Daryl. But if you have not grown Orange Glow, I will be offering these seeds on my website. So that is one of my resolutions for October to get back with the website guy and finish the new design and get the seeds on into my store. Because if you don't have some kind of merch to sell on your website, it's just a money drain. I spend so much money for that website and I don't have anything to sell there. So that's got to change. Okay, I just want to give a shout out. So I've given a shout out to Pawpaw Sammy, and I also want to give a shout out to Native Plant Talk. I watch his videos every day. He's got a lot of short videos with great information, and he's very to the point. And so he recommended this company. I guess they just have one size of bag. I just ordered a 1.19 pound bag because I have a very small meadow. But I bought the Southern Short Meadow mix. And oh my goodness, there must be 25 different kinds of seeds in here. Let me see if I can read that. I'm just curious. I mean, this is pretty small. This looks like 12-point type. If I can read this, then my eyes must be improving. Aldous Little Blue Stem. He's always talking about little blue stem grass. Switchgrass, Tall Drop Seed, CNF Partridge Pea, Side Oaks Grama, Purple Top, False Sunflower, Wild Quinine, Rattlesnake Master. He's always talking about Rattlesnake Master. He's in Alabama. And Spiked Blazing Star, Lance Leaf Coreopsis. I have that's mostly what's in my meadow now. Fuego Indian Blanket, Black-Eyed Susan. I've got that too. White Prairie Clover. I don't know if white prairie clover is the same as white clover. I don't think it is. Purple Prairie Clover, Blue False Indigo, yay! And Gray-Headed Coneflower, gray-headed. I want some color. Oh, Rigid Goldenrod, fantastic. I have no goldenrod here, can you believe that? And Smooth Aster, Bergamot, and Gray Goldenrod. Can't believe I can read that. My meadow is already full. And so I have sent him a message and asked him, should I mow it? Should I burn it? What should I do to what I have before I use this? And of course, I'm not going to put this seed down until it looks like we're going to have some rain. But it seems to me that I should just mow what I have, because I've done that 2 years now. And all the coreopsis and stuff has come back. Right before the rain, scatter the seeds and put some hay over it. Sounds like a good plan, but I want to get that confirmed because he restores native habitat. That's his big thing. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful, interesting, inspiring, and I hope it's been worthy of your time. Stay tuned for more. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.